guys, welcome to
Crying in Quartermile.
I'm Sahira.
I'm Yasi, and this is our little podcast.
We've been talking about it for quite a while.
We have. It's just going to be a little journey about everything that we wish we knew before going to uni.
And kind of also in the period post-university, what goes on, what we can do, and just a little insight into what we've learned, what we wish we knew, and what we're discovering.
Yeah, because there's a lot to discover. It's just going to be behind the scenes, things that you can do to prepare for uni, and then the process of getting jobs and stuff after uni.
Exactly.
So it's just going to be a little journey that we hope that you come with us.
And we hope you enjoy.
Let's get to it. So before anything, let's discuss what you need to do before even getting to uni, because there is quite a few things that you should be aware of and a few things that you should do, like regardless of the packing. Although there's a big step, what do you think?
Packing is definitely important, and kind of knowing how much to take, how much to leave to just get there to kind of save you on the luggage space if you're traveling abroad.
But also, you don't want to take everything with you. Like, you don't need to take your entire bedding. Like, take sentimental things with you that's going to make your dorm feel like home.
Yes, and that will remind you of home, provide you with that comfort. But you don't need to worry about packing your entire room and transporting it, because as time goes by, as the years go by and you move, you will find newer things to kind of decorate, make it feel more comfortable.
You will accumulate so many things.
A lot of things.
Even if you may not even be someone who accumulates things, you may not even be someone like, oh, I like this or whatever. But it's just like, you will.
It happens somehow.
It does happen. When we were moving out, I thought I didn't have anything, but it was like boxes upon boxes.
Oh,
I remember yours one was the same as well.
Yeah.
We just had so many boxes, but you don't even realize you've accumulated so much.
And I thought I'd done a clear out. I was like, okay, it'll be fine, it'll be easier. And then I was like, oh my goodness.
We were humbled very quickly.
It's never ending.
No.
So definitely
pack light.
And be conscious about what you're taking.
Yeah, and just like, if you know you're going somewhere cold, obviously you don't need to take all like your summery stuff. And a lot of people did. I know I did as well. Cause
I took shorts to Scotland.
let's not do that this time. So just be like conscious of what you're packing, and know that you will accumulate things. So you want to pack a little bit on the lighter side.
Definitely. And if you're going to a city, it's very easy to get things there. So if you find out, within a month of being at university, oh, I need this, very easy to get those things. You can add to your collection. And also if you go home, you can always pick up whatever you need and bring it back the next time.
And when you're getting ready, when you're actually at your destination, if you're in the UK, Primark and H&M will be your go-to.
They will be your best friends.
They have everything.
Anything and everything.
Anything and everything. So whatever you thought that you didn't pack, or like you were like, oh, I wish I did, they'll have it.
They've got it. They've got you covered.
They've got you covered. So you're much better off getting the stuff you need when you're there than having to bring it, like lugging everything.
Definitely, yes.
Exactly. But that's just the packing side. Here's something that a lot of people don't do, and that's networking before you get to uni.
See, this was so interesting because for us, a lot of things were done on Facebook pages, and I never had a Facebook account.
Really?
Never.
Not even when you were 12?
It really confused me.
It's a bit odd.
I agree. But I had to create one just for getting ready to go to university, and it was so helpful. It puts you in contact with your future flatmates if you're living in dorms, with people in your course, with just people in your accommodation, society group chats.
It's so useful and you find these things by literally searching up like your accommodation or searching up like your course, and then you'll always find that there is a group chat affiliated to those. And don't be shy to just join the group chats and introduce yourselves, because they're going to be your course mates, they're going to be people you're going to be hanging out with, and sometimes you will find your flatmates before you even get there.
Which is so lovely, because then it's like that sense of familiarity for when you arrive, that little bit of comfort. You kind of already know people, meeting them online, and I just think it makes the experience slightly more exciting and a bit more real as well.
Also a little bit less daunting as well, that you already kind of know people. I remember when I got there, my flatmates weren't there, so I was like alone for like a week in my flat. But I like networked beforehand, so I kind of knew people in my accommodation. So as soon as I got there, I just messaged them, and then like I would go to their flats and like become friends with like who they were around. So, and I wouldn't have done that had I not networked beforehand.
It gave you that opportunity to kind of meet more people,
Exactly.
or before even getting to university.
Exactly, it kind of takes away that aspect of like being scared and lonely and daunting, because like you will inevitably feel those things, and that's okay.
Especially in the lead up, because you kind of have all of these last minute thoughts. If you're an overthinker, you're definitely going to be wondering all of these things, but kind of preparing and looking for these group chats in advance puts you in a more comfortable position, I think, and can set your mind at a little bit of ease.
And you have nothing to lose.
No.
Like, even if you're shy to say hi or whatever, if that person that you are saying hi to is probably so relieved that you did.
Everybody's kind of meeting people for the first time, so everybody's going to be nervous in the same boat as you, so they're really going to appreciate if you are that person who makes the initial steps to try and greet them, say hello to them, connect with them.
Because everyone wants to become friends with everyone at the end of the day, right? So don't think as like what do they like me? Will they judge me? Like, is this weird? It is not.
No, it's definitely anything but those things.
And then when you do have flatmates, say you haven't spoken to them, but they have arrived in their rooms, go knock on their doors. Go introduce yourselves, go say hi, because chances are they will be sort of like, oh my god, this person is so nice, they want to connect with me, like they want to be friends, and that's it.
A lot of advice was given to us, I think, in the lead up to university, but something that was so common was keep your door open, or be that person to go and knock on somebody's door, because people will be excited because somebody new, somebody to say hello to you.
People don't do that.
No, I know. So if you're the one to do it, it's great.
Kudos to you.
Exactly.
Everyone will see you as a social butterfly, and that it automatically gets people drawn to you.
Or keep your door open, show that you're approachable and you want somebody to come and say hello.
The worst thing you can do is just shut yourself in a room and not make an effort to see people or to have an encounter with one person, and in the off chance it was a bad encounter that kind of like puts you off. Don't let one thing ruin your freshers and ruin the move-in day for you. Because I know that also happened to a few people and they were just completely put off, and it's like, no.
Don't let it.
You're at uni to meet so many people, and your freshers week will be what you make it.
And even if it's not your personality to be the one to approach somebody first, I know for me specifically it really wasn't. When somebody's like, go say hi first, I was like, oh no, how am I going to do this? But it really is useful, and it gets you exposed to so many people, and literally so many people are friendly and just so happy that you're greeting them, so definitely give it a go.
For sure. And then when you are making friends during freshers, you'll obviously become friends with so many people who might not necessarily be your type of person either. Like, you'll become friends in these really big groups and like move around in these really big groups, and that's just a part of the fun. And then later on you can kind of like filter down who you actually want to be close to, who you really want to be friends with. Like, a lot of your fresher friends will not be your lifelong friends.
That's why it's like they're coined freshers friends, because as the time kind of goes on and you settle into more of a groove with university, you tend to change your friendship groups, but they will be the people who get you through those first few weeks.
Okay, so I have a younger sister, and she's in that year that they're applying, and she's about to go to uni. So she had a few questions for us that we could maybe shine some light on. She and her friends thought about social and administrative things. So one of the questions was, how do you make friends when you go? Because obviously you don't know anyone. And I feel like we touched up on this a little bit as well for Freshers Week. But what do you think?
We definitely did speak a little bit about it, kind of keeping your door open, trying to get on this group chat, saying hello, trying to find your flatmates or people in your dorm before. But another good way that I think is quite good is joining societies.
That's true.
Because universities have such a variety of societies available, and there's such a good way to meet people who are interested in the same things as you are, and there's typically a society for almost anything. So whatever you're interested in, there will be a society for. So if you go along, you will definitely meet people through that.
For sure, and don't count on people to go with you. If you want to go to society, like, just go.
Exactly, because you'll meet so many people there, so go alone, it's great.
Exactly, and you're going to meet so many people in your courses. And like we said, just say hi.
Yeah, just start the conversation.
You have to put yourself out there a little bit. That can be quite scary, but you have to start somewhere.
And it does work as well. I mean,
it does.
So many people we've met, and it's because, you know, we had a similar class, kind of just asked them like, oh, so hi, how are you? Like, what is your main degree? And kind of start a conversation from there. Talk a bit more, you get some coffees, and then you're good friends.
We're proof it works.
Exactly.
And then another few questions I had was administrative stuff. Okay. So how do you know what courses you have? How do you know where to go? How do you know who to reach out to if there's an issue? There's a lot of ways.
Yes.
For what courses you're enrolled to, for I believe first and second year, you don't get to choose depending on your uni.
There are compulsory courses that you have to do, and then there's a certain number of credits that are optional, and then for those you can choose your extra modules. But sometimes you'll have requirements, so even though they say it's optional, you still have to do maybe a statistics course. But I feel like that's communicated quite clearly, and you go, at least for us, and the way it worked with our university is in the first and second year you'd have a meeting with your personal tutor to kind of go through it and okay it and talk about any questions you might have. And then I think in third and fourth year, because you're a bit more experienced, you know how it works, it was more left up to you.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's more like uni by uni basis as well.
I think so, yeah.
But I think the general consensus is you'll have a personal tutor. So if you have any questions, you can always go to them. They're there for anything.
Yes, literally. I mean, people have student support officers as well. So if you can't, for some reason, get a hold of your personal tutor, there's a student support officer who's also there to try and aid you in anything.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, the course-related stuff as well, you can always go to your personal tutor because they will be a faculty member on your course.
Yes, they might even be your professor or tutor.
Exactly, so they will know.
Yeah.
And if they don't know, they will find out for you because that's just what they're there for.
Or direct you to somebody who you can go to for that information.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in terms of like how to find your rooms and your buildings, that can be quite tricky, especially if you're in a city and you don't have a campus.
Yeah.
But just put in Google Maps.
Google Maps will be your best friend, and even getting to know the city. But even for us, I used to put my university buildings into Google Maps because they weren't all on the same main campus. Some of them were in other parts, and I was like, I don't know. So Google Maps will be your best friend.
Exactly. So when in doubt, just Google Maps the building, and you'll have to ask around for your classes.
That's fine. Everybody will be helpful.
Everything will be fine. Everything is very clearly signposted as well. Yeah. You shouldn't have to worry about getting lost or anything because it's all very clear.
Yeah, and in terms of finding your dorm room, I mean, when you enter, if you're staying in like student accommodation, there'll be RAs to help, or people maybe who help run the accommodation, and they will assign you your dorm room.
Yeah. RAs are students within the university. Older students who have volunteered to stay in the accommodations to help the freshers, the new students. So they would have had experiences around the city and everything in terms of uni. So if you have questions, you can always go to them as well.
Yes, and they will always be there to help guide you for anything.
The point is, you have loads of people for everything.
And information will be made available to you, and if it's not, there will be somebody who can help get it for you.
Exactly. So you're in really good hands, and when it comes to administrative stuff, you shouldn't need to worry too much.
Do not worry.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've spoken about various things that people can do during the first week of university. Now I'm curious because Yasi, you and I didn't know each other in the first year. We met briefly.
But we lived opposite each other.
Yes, we did. But we never encountered each other until later on in the year.
Yep.
That's a whole other story. So I'm curious, what were things that you did that really helped and things that you kind of wish you did during that first week?
That first week, that first day in particular, well, my flatmates weren't there, so once I reached out to the other people in my accommodation, I just kind of stayed within their group, and then we became a massive group. So we did all of our pre's together, we went to uni together, we had loads of picnics, and we just kind of went in the evenings. We were all like this massive group, and in the morning, I had like a specific group of girls I was really close to. And then we would go to campus together, sign up for societies together. We always had our pizza and coffee in hand because the Domino's just kept giving out free pizzas. So it was a lot of fun. But then when it came to my personal tutor, because I know in freshers you're meant to meet with your personal tutor, everyone's personal tutor reached out to him but mine.
No way.
So I was like, am I doing something wrong? And I was so nervous that I ended up having to message him myself to be like, are we seeing each other? Like, what's up? But I had so many spelling mistakes that I was so embarrassed because like I'm an English literature student right now, and I was just so nervous to meet the guy. And then I did, and he was like, "You're new, aren't you?" And I was like, "Oh,
what gave it away?"
What gave it away? It was so scary.
Oh,
my personal tutor later was lovely.
Okay.
But that was just a one-off that year. But it was really good. I can't say anything bad about my freshers experience. I signed up to loads of societies that I never went to. I still have my email.
Very good.
And sent me the newsletters.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Because I signed up for everything and I didn't realize you're not meant to. Oh yeah, so don't do that. Don't just put your email down for everything because they will just continuously email you, and I didn't know how to unsubscribe. I still don't.
So 4 years later, you're still getting those emails.
I'm still getting those emails. But I can't say anything bad. It was really good.
That's good.
And there was a whole aspect of like keeping yourself alive. Like making sure
Yes.
you're hydrated, making sure you're getting your groceries.
Because we were in self-catered accommodations.
Yeah.
So it was very much so we had to make our own meals because in our university, and I think this is the same for quite a few, you can choose to be in self-catered or catered, but we had to choose 5 options, and it was kind of whichever one you got, you got. And
it was kind of ensuite or catered.
And we were like, we need our own bathrooms.
So that was I mean, it was fine. There was a lot of things I made that were not edible, but you live and you learn.
You got through it.
We got through it. It was fine, but it was all in all a pretty good experience. I can't lie.
So definitely something that helped you was those Facebook chats to meet other people.
Yes, for sure. Had I not done that, because my flatmates weren't there, I would have had no one. Right. But because I'd already met people through the Facebook group chats, I kind of had an idea of who would be in the accommodation as a whole.
That's good.
So I reached out to them, and that really, really helped. So for me, the Facebook group chats was a complete win. Fantastic. Now, I'm curious to know how your freshers went, because I think it's quite different to mine.
It was and it wasn't. In the sense, it was similar because the Facebook group chats were very useful, but I was quite fortunate. I had all of my flat members, they were all there, and we had a group chat prior to even arriving at university.
That's so cool.
So we'd kind of given each other arrival times and everything, and our accommodations hosted a few events, like just to kind of coffees and whatnot, to just meet everybody else in there, and we would all go to them together, any meetings together, and then also societies were useful. I didn't branch out to many. I typically just stuck to the societies for the courses I was doing. But I met some really lovely people from doing that, and it was nice to have a few friendly faces when you were going to your first week of classes, because people in my dorm weren't necessarily doing the same course as I was, so it was nice to know that when I was on campus I could look for somebody in a lecture hall.
That is really nice. It's quite comforting.
It is quite, or like grab a coffee with if you're on campus, and then you have different classes, but you can...
Coffee will be your best friend. You'll go on so many coffee runs, but I need to see this person for coffee, and then like 2 hours later, I need to see this person for coffee.
Someone else.
You'll be the biggest social butterfly during freshers.
Yes.
It was crazy. I remember my sister was in the year above us, and she would get really mad because she'd be like, "Oh, you're double booking me," because I'd see her and be like, "Oh, sorry, I need to go grab a coffee with someone else." But it's just part of the freshest charm, I guess.
Just meeting everybody, and it's very cute. I remember we did a lot of, because we lived quite far from campus, so if we lived so far. We lived like a 45-minute walk away from campus. Something crazy, yeah. So if we had maybe a 2-hour gap, it was always better to stay on campus. So there's a lot of lunches that were done, and coffees, and it was just cute. It was a nice community feel. So I really did enjoy it. Yeah.
That's good.
It was nice.
All in all, I think from both of our experiences, I think pressure is just what you make it.
And I mean, I'm usually, I guess, a bit more reserved, but so something I learned over that first year, and I guess from uni, was to be a bit more out there, because that is the easiest way to meet a lot of people, and it really does help.
It does, because I guess you're not in school anymore where you have to socialize. Exactly. Like when you're at uni, you have to make the effort, because people aren't just gonna try and be your
Because
friend.
there's so many that you come across as
Exactly. So you need to kind of be in charge in terms of that and do yourself a solid and put yourself out there.
It's pretty good.
I'd say this is all very informative.
I hope so.
I hope this helps.
Yes, and if there's any more questions, feel free to
send them our way.
Exactly.
Let us know. But this was our first episode of Crying in Quartermile. I hope it was informative.
I hope it was enjoyable.
And we shall see you for the next episode.
It's been real.
It's been so real.